Hey guys, it's Abraham again. Out here enjoying my life in the woods, my free life in the woods. Hey, in my last video, I dove into the soul a little bit and what I meant when I talked about the soul. And I talked about how in Western society, the soul is a very individualized thing. It's my body, my personal soul. And so I thought I'd go into a question that may arise from that. If the soul is more universal in nature rather than individualized, then a question naturally arises. What about life after death? So let's think about that a little bit. First, I'll ask the question, what's the opposite of death? Well, some of you probably thought, well, isn't life the opposite of death? I don't think so. Look at it in a timeline. You have death, birth. Birth is the opposite of death. Life doesn't have an opposite. Life is. It just is. It's all there is. It's outside of space, time, birth, death. It's connected with that universal soul. Life is just life. There is no life after death per se in the chronological, individualistic way that Western society wants to think about it. So I've studied for several decades now. I've read the scriptures and studied all sorts of Christian traditions. Studied Judaism, Orthodox Judaism, Kabbalah, Sufi, Mysticism, Zoroastrianism, and now Buddhism, and Advaita, Vedanta. A lot of different traditions that I've studied and looked into, and it's kind of funny, like all religions, some of them are just really hyper-focused on what happens to you after you die. And really, that's about life itself, your spiritual tradition, your spiritual mindset, your thoughts, your religion. It should be more focused on life, and life is all that there really is. When I talked about the soul being the whole ocean, not just a single wave or just a single drop in the ocean. It's the entire ocean in a drop. So when we think about life, we can connect it to the universal aspect of the soul. It just is. It's all there is. Everything else is temporary. It's like an illusion because it is so temporary. Just think about waves on the ocean. You're the entire ocean, and there's a wave that's being manifested. As the wave begins to rise up and crest, there's a birth taking place. It takes form. It becomes beautiful. It becomes productive. A surfer can ride that wave, but then it crashes down. But it's still the ocean. It has that temporary moment, but it continues to be the ocean. So there's not necessarily life after death. There's birth and there's death. There's life before birth. There's life constantly. There's biological death. And on it goes. It doesn't end. Life is continual. Eternal life is just life itself, continual in a process. So I'd like to hear in your comments below, maybe what do you think about life after death? And again, there's various traditions, and yes, we could all get on Google and look up what this religion believes or that religion believes or this creed. I'm not talking about that. I'm asking you, what do you feel in your heart's heart, your own soul? What do you feel? Is there just life? Or do you think maybe, again, a lot of you guys are probably in the Western world, and you have that chronological individual way of thinking about things, and then you have rewards and punishment way of thinking about things. If all there is life, and the soul is simply like the whole ocean, then how are people in an individualistic way judged? For example, if someone lives and they do bad things, shouldn't they be judged after death in some sort of afterlife? Well, let's take two extreme examples. Let's take Mother Teresa on the one end and Hitler on the other end. I even hate saying that name, but whatever. We'll use it. Well, they both had the same soul, so to speak. The vastness of the ocean, the oneness of all reality, that pure being and existence is that soul. And that soul is manifesting in time and space in an individualistic way, just like the wave on the ocean. But it's still the whole ocean. So, Mother Teresa was a manifestation of all existence come together in a singular focused body and mind. The same with Hitler. But the soul, life, was the same soul and the same life, essentially. Now, where we do get into individualization is the body. There are individual bodies, we all know this, and there's an individual mind. A lot of us confuse the mind with the soul. So Mother Teresa had a mind, and we can say, look at her life, and say she brought about good things in life. And the evil dictator, he didn't bring about good things. Well, what are those things? When I say good things from their mind, her thoughts, words, and deeds. What are thoughts, words, and deeds? Well, they're actually energy. In the first law of thermodynamics, energy can not be destroyed or created. It just is. And so when we want to talk about the individuation or judgment of the soul, it's not the soul. It's your thoughts, words, and deeds. So Mother Teresa, she took that energy which exists in all existence, and she filtered that energy through her body and through her mind and brought about good things into this world. And the evil dictator, he brought about bad things into the world. And again, energy cannot be created or destroyed. So as that energy flowed into Mother Teresa and out into good things, that's eternal. Those eternal things will continue, just like ripples in a lake. They will continue forever. And so those are the things that I think get confused in the Western world as like Hitler will be eternally punished. His soul will be eternally punished in hellfire forever. No, he doesn't exist. His physical body and his physical mind are no more. But the energy that came into his mind, his body, and manifested and was filtered through negativity into this world, yes, that will ripple on. And this is why we got to be careful with our thoughts, our words, and our deeds, because these are the things that, again, are energy. It cannot be destroyed, cannot be created, it just is. So as it flows out of us, it goes in, it gets filtered through us and into all of reality. So the more we align ourselves with good things, the more goodness we bring for all eternity. But as far as life after death, I don't believe there's an individualization of that, like an individual soul, that there's some sort of separate life after you die in an individualistic way. There is only one essence of existence. There's only one singular ocean. If we were to look at it as in the ocean was one thing. And there's a multiplicity of waves. They come and they go, and they dissolve back. And so it is with your life. It's going to come, it's going to go, and it's going to come again, and it's going to repeat forever. There's not a separate life after death. There's birth and there's death. Birth is the opposite of death. And then there's life, eternal life, and that's all there is. And what we have control over is our body, our mind, our thoughts, our words, and our deeds, and those, again, are just energy. And so we can filter those energies and bring goodness into this world, but I don't think we need to individualistically worry about some sort of imaginary life after death. We just need to focus on life itself and live our life and know that life itself continues without ceasing forever and ever, and it always has been forever and ever. There's no beginning and there's no end. There is just life, period. No life after death scenario or world that we go to when we die. There is no place. Anyways, guys, talking about the soul in the last video, I thought this would be an interesting thing to bring up. So, again, I'd be interested in your thoughts, your personal thoughts about what you think about life, birth, death, etc. All right. Thanks, guys.